Orange unis today. LSU countering with the all whites. Gold letters and numbers and the gold sleeve.
As we're talking about LSU really needing Edwards to step up. She does. She gets this ball on the outside part of the corner. Just a little bit too good in that pitch count and just drives it right center. I think you get a run across the plate for sure.
Macy Berzon now for LSU. One for four yesterday. Single to lead off the seventh for her only hit. Just saw Edwards, now Berzon, part of the Smash Sisters for LSU. They've combined for 24 of the team's 36 home runs. 9 of them belong to Berzon. 6 of those came against ranked opponents.
So you right now, you're just watching a team.
Lisa Mackenzie Rudedy, who did not play yesterday. Head coach Beth Torina told us in our pregame conversation she would be unavailable, no other details, but that she would return here for game 2. And that's a big bat to add to this lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Rudedy hitting .342. There's Coach Torina, 14 years now in Baton Rouge. We just missed each other. I was a local sports anchor there in Baton Rouge, and then after my time ended, she arrived a couple years later.
I'm not sure right now, Chris, but I feel like that was a text.
Some damage. First inning, Mia Scott will bat third for Texas in the bottom half of the first after a 2-run homer yesterday in the 6th inning that pulled Texas within 1. LSU will put Tatum Clopton in the circle this afternoon. She threw 5 innings in her last start against Texas A&M last weekend, giving up 4 runs, all of them earned on 4 hits. She struck out 2 Aggies and walked 2. Clopton out for the last 2 seasons due to an injury to her shoulder. She was part of a couple of Women's College World Series teams at Oklahoma State before making her way to the Red Stick. Off of Maloney. They'll make the throw, but of course she comes back to the box now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. Right off her toe right there. Maybe we can slow it down a little bit more, but I mean, she reacted pretty. There we go.
Aaron Golden, Robert Guest, J.C. Bartley conferencing to verify the call. Beth Torina not thrilled with it.
Yeah, and then I'm sure Coach Torina is going to wonder if she was in the box or not. In that replay we just saw, she was definitely still in the box.
There's Mike White, who won his 300th game as the Longhorn skipper yesterday. Another look at that last foul ball off the foot of Maloney.
She's definitely in the box and off of her foot. Good call. Goes with that curveball, riding it tight and inside to Maloney, especially after just drilling herself with the ball. Might have a little bit of the yips, but she definitely went across, not able to hold up there.
First pitch to Caden Henry, fouled off. Hot shot gets to the wall in foul territory in right. Henry in center field for this one. to begin the day, we thought, and now into left.
I think a few changes, right? I think let's talk about Tatum Clopton in the circle today. I think that surprised us a little bit. I thought we were going to see Jaden Heavner for sure in the circle. Their other, for the most part, number 2 starter, Clopton, however, looking really strong here. She's going to go up, down. She's got a great curve as we've seen so far. And I think right now, Coach Beth Tarina looking maybe to give another breather for Heavner. Heavner had a really tough outing against A&M last weekend. She's only able to go 2/3 of an inning. She gave up 7 earned runs, 5 walks. And so again, just really trying to, I think, ease her back into it. She's just a freshman. That's a tough outing for anyone to have to endure, especially at A&M. You have the fans that are out there. If you have those 5 walks, their ball count,
oh, yeah,
and they're chanting at you. And so again, you want to be very delicate with how you put her back in.
One hopper to Edwards at first. Leah Scott will step in. She provided some of those dramatics yesterday for Texas. 6th inning, and the Horns had yet to get any offensive production. Caden Henry drew a leadoff walk, and then Scott knocked a shot beyond the 220-foot sign on that center field wall.
This is just Clopton's 2nd start in SEC play. And I just like already right now that she is going right at these Texas batters with that curveball inside. It's been 3 lefties in a row that she has not been afraid to throw that curveball. Tuck it right inside there. And Mia Scott kind of daring her to do it with where she's standing in the box right now. And there it is. And I want that one called a strike for sure. Your Berzon back there. But I like that. I like the confidence. That's what you want to see out of your pitcher in the circle.
2-1 is the count against Scott. .453 her batting average. Clopton got that start last weekend against Texas A&M. Before that, had an appearance against Georgia in relief. So 3rd time to face an SEC foe.
The wicked changeup.
Her best outing came back on February 14th against Texas Arlington. Went 7 innings in that one, allowing just 2 hits and striking out 10 Mavericks. Reset back for the 3-2 offering from Clopton to Scott with 2 out. Line shot.
And here you're going to see them go inside. It's that curve. It's elevated just a bit. Tori Edwards at first.
First pitch to Atwood. Missing inside. We talked with Coach White before the game yesterday, and he said that Atwood's poise and production in stressful situations continues to be elite. Boy, did that turn out to be prophetic.
Yeah. I mean, I think you watch that whole game, right? It's you look at the score, you're like, really? Was it a pitcher's duel? But it was in the first 3 innings. You know, both of these offenses are so potent in the SEC and nationwide that I think you watched a hitter like this go hitless until the 7th inning. And so that's what you're talking about, staying poised and staying true to herself and doing it. Is the very first pitch she saw, and it was a no-doubter.
And you saw it just pop up on your screen. What a great fact from our research department. That walk-off grand slam yesterday, first time in Texas Longhorns history that had happened.
That's wild. I can't believe that's the first time. What a perfect person to have that happen to. I feel like she was able to you up 2-0.
Gavon, the undisputed ace of this Texas staff with 10 wins on the season. Only 2 from the other starters in this Texas rotation.
I think there's no secret right now. Tegan Cavan's getting Friday, Sunday starts, or in this case, Thursday, Saturday starts for Texas. She's really working into that role, and it's something different this year for her for sure. Last year there was 3 of them that they were really figuring out, and the rest of the staff, as far as Texas goes, Mac Morgan's been picking up that day 2 start, and you're going to probably see Sitlali come in after one time through the order. Potentially 2. It just depends, right? How Mac Morgan's feeling, how she's able to keep going.
Off the foot of Maddox McGee, who started. A little bit of chippiness between these teams. I think it's safe to say. As McKee was rounding first base, Jolie Mitchell in her path. And McKee didn't pull up. We talk about LSU and the all-gas mentality. In that moment, on a routine single, it seemed like the brakes should have been thrown on.
Yeah, I think you're going to hear a little bit from both sides in that type of situation, right? A first baseman should not be in the way, right? And I probably think Mitchell's not going to be standing there much longer at all. But yeah, I think when the right fielder has the ball in her hand and you're just rounding, there's no need to collide.
Here's Jane Leno. First pitch to her in the zone. Leno 0 for 4 yesterday. Now on a 3-game hitless streak for the first time since early March. In that case, she went 4 consecutive games without a base hit. 2 games versus South Alabama and then 2 against Minnesota.
Oh, that's a good-looking pick right there. I was talking about Clopton and how well she's able to command that inside corner to those lefties, and I really like the spot Mac Morgan went there. Not sure where it missed.
2-1 into left. Henry backtracking. 2 out for Sierra Daniel now. Daniel had her 5th multi-hit game of the season yesterday. Singled in the 2nd and the 6th. First pitch fouled back into another packed house in Austin. Back-to-back sellout crowds. As you would hope you would get when the number 9 team in the country is facing the 1, 2, 3 inning for tweeted it later in the evening, Megan. That was truly a goosebump-inducing moment when Jolie came back and did that in the bottom of the frame after getting knocked down the top of the 6th.
Yeah, I feel like that's every athlete's dream, is if you have something like that happen to you on defense, you get the opportunity to come up and hit at a time where you're within 1 and you get to hit a home run to tie the ball game. I mean, you dream of a situation like that, and you really get to be like, oh yeah, do that again.
Mitchell grounding that one foul past Coach White. Celebrating his 300th victory at the helm of this program yesterday. We asked him about it in pregame, and he didn't think much of it. Not worried about the milestones, just grateful to be at a fantastic school, to coach at this level. Just wants to focus on the next game, and those win totals will take care of themselves.
Yeah, and with it being number 300 for him, it was number 40 for Texas as a squad on the season. 6 years in a row, they've had a 40-plus win season. Another huge accomplishment, and all of that under Coach White.
Two pitch coming. Pitch Mitchell stays alive. I think the Texas softball social media had the line of the day in regards to that situation. When push comes to shove, Jolie stands tall. That's the kind of thing I wish I could have thought of on my feet when she went yard. They have a good 30, 60 seconds to come up with lines like that. We have to do it blink of an eye.
You might even have a minute. Take a look here, Chris, where Jolie's standing in the box. She's up in the box, which is far different from what we saw Mia Scott.
Here's Katie Stewart. Enters the day in a three-way tie atop the SEC RBI leaderboard. 62 of them this season. One of the other players in that three-way tie is playing first base right now, Tori Edwards.
And just like Tori Edwards, Katie Stewart wasn't able to get a hit yesterday. She was 0 for 3, and someone who's really battling to get back in that hit train, just get back to feeling well, because clearly you look at these numbers, she has the ability, and she has been hitting all season long. 62 RBIs is just Jolie Mitchell really lucky right there that Avery Hodge bobbles that ball, because I think she hesitated at second. She was trying to see. Here again, going inside. They're really trying to hammer that inside corner on these Longhorns. Just not able to get it taken care of.
Tigers 2, Longhorns 1. Nobody out in the bottom of the second after consecutive doubles by Mitchell and Stewart. Now Katie Simmons laying down a bunt, moving the runner over. Simmons is retired. Stewart now to third base.
And I think that just tells you right now where Coach White's at with his offense, knowing how important each one of these games are right now, that they're playing for one run right now. They're just playing to get this game tied, being able to sacrifice Stewart over to third.
Vic Hunter gets the start today. Sophomore out of Houston, hitting .206 on the year. Just her 11th start this season.
I'd love to see a mile per hour on that changeup. That thing's coming in there slow. There it is again. Good job behind the dish. Berzon really trying to get that one called a strike off the plate.
Top of the first yesterday, I was looking on the scoreboard. There's no radar gun on there, unfortunately.
I know.
2-1.
I'm LSU. I want to stay away from Victoria Hunter. She just has such a powerful swing, but it's built to hit that inside corner.
Takes another, and Hunter is aboard. Runners on the corners for Texas. KD Bennett will have a chance to tie things up. Texas offense, top 10 in the country in all four of these important categories, including that .367 batting average. These are two of the top hitting teams in the SEC. That Texas average, second best in the country. .367, the only team doing better, the Indiana Hoosiers. They're hitting .384.
And I
Bennett
think
will have a moment to chat with Coach White before the 1-0 pitch is offered.
looks like Beth Trina's going to come out and chat with her pitcher too. Talk with the staff. You got a first and third situation. Deciding if they're going to get the out at second. They're going to have someone cut across. Feel like when you're looking, like you're just talking about these offense, and you know how powerful Texas's offense right now, number one in the SEC. batting average, you're like, okay, they're just going to let her rip right here. But, you know, not with the batter you have. Katie Bennett. Then you have Ashton Maloney. They're touch and go type girls. They have a little pop. Yes. Can they get it out there? Could you get a sac fly? Sure.
By Hodge did provide an RBI double, but this is off to end the second. Had runners on the corners with one out.
I feel like that's really been the first play that we've seen Stewart get tested over there at shortstop. First start here for Stewart at shortstop. Had a chance at that shallow fly ball. Caden Henry came up to get that one instead.
Mike White visiting with home plate umpire Aaron Golden before going to take the ball from Mac Morgan. Pitching change for the Texas Longhorns on the year with a 1.43 ERA. Replacing Mac Morgan right before Jayla Lassiter's at bat. Lassiter first.
You know, right before that pitch, she looked at her dugout and she told them the spin that she was seeing. She gave like a little hand motion to what she saw, and she is just absolutely dialed in on that one. And that's the student of the game that Edwards, middle of the box, got all of it.
Macy Bazaran try to follow that up. She had an RBI single in the first. Infield playing on a shift against Bazaran as Bennett moves over to the left of second base from our perspective. See it there, Bennett, Stewart, and Scott from right to left. 2-0 the count.
Well, interesting that you're going to pull your infield all to the left side and still throw to the outside part of the plate. That's a little risky. However, it was a changeup, expecting her to pull it. Clearly, they see her spray chart that she is a pull hitter.
A 4-pitch walk. Issue to Bazaran. That'll lead to a mound visit for Gutierrez. Nothing but pain for her so far. Entered with one out and has proceeded to allow a double, a home run, and a base on balls.
Yeah, and I feel like not what you want, especially coming off of that Tennessee appearance that she had. She came in relief. She threw 4 1/3, only scattering 4 hits, striking out 3, just 1 earned run, and you're really wanting to ride that coming into here. That's a tough start.
Sold out crowd. A good number of Tiger fans made their way to Austin. I think that's true for fans of all sports, of pretty much all SEC teams. When Texas was added to the league, I think I want to make that road trip to Austin pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. And vice versa. You know, when we heard that that was coming, I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Now I have a reason to go to Death Valley. I have a reason to go check out some of these schools. I want to go to Stark Vegas, see what that's all about.
To the second baseman, Bennett. Chance at a double play. No. As Stewart decides to eat it. And that was the right call, with Rudity making her way down the line.
I think the way that this bounced over there to Bennett takes her back a little bit, gets rid of it just fine, but not with the added speed. Rudity.
Avery Hodge takes the first pitch for his strike right down the pipe. Hodge 1 for 3 yesterday, a 2-run single in the 4th. Very familiar with these Texas Longhorns. As Hodge Transfer from Oklahoma, two-time national champion with the Sooners. Unable to get that call on the outside part of the plate.
That's tough. You really want to get that. I think maybe could have called it a little upstairs. I feel like it was right on the line.
The 1-2. In the inning, Texas A&M now only a half game up on Texas for first place in the Southeastern Conference. Take a look at those standings with the Aggies now at 13-4, Longhorns at 12-4. Down at the bottom of this list, you see LSU, three-way tie for 8th place currently, 8-8. Same is the case for Ole Miss and Alabama. And those top 4 spots really make all the difference in this single elimination SEC tournament. Those 4 teams will get a double bye.
And I think it's pretty clear to see why you would want a double bye. But I think the other thing is just you don't want all the extra games before heading into postseason. You don't want to start beating yourselves up on some of these extra. Not that it doesn't mean anything, but you do want to be that SEC champion, of course. But want to do it with the least amount of games under your belt for sure.
Sidlali Gutierrez came on in relief with 1 out in the 3rd. Now facing Maddox McKee. Missing inside. Count is full. McKee had some great moments on this field back in her high school days. Led Lake Creek to back-to-back Texas state championships in the UIL. This time put out on a grounder to Mitchell. Those Texas high school playoffs underway next week. The road to Austin. And we'll crown more champions than we're used to in this state as the classes have been divided. Division I and Division II champions in all classes this season.
Nice. It's exciting for them to be able to come here and play right in Charlene McCombs.
Jaden Leno for LSU. Bouncing Atwood, can't glove it. Leno flied out to left in the 2nd. Waiting on the 1-1 offering from Gutierrez. In the left, Henry able to move and make the play. That'll lead to Sierra Daniel.
I think this would be huge for Gutierrez right now if she can get a quick 1-2-3 after last inning, settle in. Already looking like she has a little bit more command on her pitches. A little bit more sharpness, more cut on that curve. That's a good ball right there.
Nine-hole hitter, Daniel. Danica Coffey waiting on deck, hoping for an opportunity. The Tigers can turn the lineup over. Two balls, no strikes with 2 out and nobody on for LSU.
Like for Daniel, that's when she's got to get after. It's a hitter's count. You know they don't want to go 3-0, and that ball was all over the heart of the plate, belt high.
These Tigers are hunting pitches they can drive. This one a 4, absolutely obliterating the previous record, and she'll keep adding to it throughout the season and potentially for another year after that. Just a junior for Texas, and already atop that leaderboard. Chris Majkowski with Megan Willis, game 2 of LSU versus Texas. Game 3 of the series is tomorrow at noon Eastern, 11 Central. You'll see that one on ESPN2.
I think second time through the order for Clopton. You've just noticed her really utilizing that off-speed pitch. She got Mia Scott to fly out. You're seeing her go. That pitch right before that was off-speed, and I just think this is a really good change. You've got to change your stuff, right? After one time through the lineup, the offense is going to start making their adjustments, so you've got to try something different as well.
Able to avoid a 4-pitch walk to Atwood, the reigning D1 Softball and Softball America National Player of the Year. Bounces it in, and Atwood will head down to first.
I feel like this is exactly what Texas needs, a leadoff walk here. This is what got it started for Texas. Yesterday there was a leadoff walk with Caden Henry before Mia Scott went yard. Jolie Mitchell, her last at-bat came up and ripped a double off the wall.
First pitch to Mitchell.
There's that off speed.
Doubled to begin the second for Texas and came around to score. Transfer from Notre Dame, who was an all-ACC first-team selection in 2023.
Interesting move right there. I don't think anyone was expecting bunt. Mitchell well up in the box. She did this last time, had success.
Rough release point there for Clopton. Sends it well high, running the count to 3-0. This time able to put it in. Again, avoiding a 4-pitch walk. Double barrel action in the LSU bullpen. In case Coach Dorina decides to make a change here with Clopton having control issues.
Yeah, and it looks like right now LSU, Clopton hasn't gotten a lot of innings in so far in SEC play. LSU has all 3 of their pitchers up and going. This happened to them yesterday. First 5 innings, only 2 hits against LSU, and it wasn't until that collision there was a little spark underneath them, and Mia Scott gets this home run. But who better for Texas? Katie Stewart to come up to a bat right here with runners on. She had a double her last at bat. She's got to be patient and trust in herself here.
She represents the potential game-tying run. Longhorns trailing by 3 with nobody out. 2 runners on base. Clopton really good in midweek opportunities, some spot starts. This is only her second start against an SEC opponent. Keep hitters guessing.
Yeah, will she go 3 changeups in a row?
No.
So powerful with that home run.
Now all alone atop the SEC RBI leaderboard. Entered the day in a 3-way tie.
Oh, she's now at 64 then. Was that the last 2 that?
Yep.
Math.
We've had to do some of that this weekend.
It's tough.
Had to quickly add 4 RBI yesterday to Reese Atwood's total on the walk-off grand slam. She continues to pad her resume, the best in Longhorn history to drive runners home. Edwards may be the best in LSU history.
Well, if you're Sitlali Gutierrez, you gotta breathe a little easier. You were able to get through Lassiter and Edwards there. It's not done yet, but just looking back at how this game's gone, you've got to be able to relax just a little bit more.
And Berzon again will face a shift from the Texas infield as Bennett moves over to the left of second base from our perspective.
Texas still going to throw her outside.
Scott at third, Stewart at short, and Bennett, the second baseman, has moved to that side of the infield as well. Tag team, Edwards and Berzon yesterday, just 1 of 8. And today, look at the turnaround, 4 of 5, and responsible for so much of LSU's production. Big reason why the Tigers lead this 4-1. A 2-1 pitch from Gutierrez.
And really, it was just switching the two of them. Yesterday, Tori Edwards was in the 4-hole. Today, they moved her up to 3, and it's all it took. Sometimes it's just that easy.
Putting her aboard on 5 pitches. Leads to Mackenzie Rudity, who did not play yesterday. Tigers were missing her big bat. 342 average with 36 runs batted in. That was the first game all season that she did not start. Beth Tarina keeping it in-house, not letting us know why she wasn't playing, simply that she wasn't available, but that she would return to the lineup on Friday.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we're not sure what it was, but you know that they missed her yesterday. They needed that extra bat. Especially, again, coming off of such a hard weekend at A&M. They're looking to get back in that win column.
1-2 the count from Gutierrez to Rudity. Two out. Berzon on first. Gutierrez uses a foul ball. Rudity is the active home run leader for LSU, 16 on her career. Takes that one inside.
Good location right there. I feel like that went right over her knee. Must have been a little bit inside.
The 2-2. Now full. Full count with 2 out. Runner on. Now 0 for 3 on the day as Gutierrez leaves Berzon stranded at first after a 2-out walk. Texas needs to get the bat.
I just think so big that last inning. I mean, she started with 2 walks and still able to go up against a hot Katie Stewart, 62 RBIs on the season. That is not who I would want to face after just walking 2, and she gets her to fly out on a easy fly ball and takes care of the rest.
This is the kind of environment that Clopton wanted to experience again. You go through all that work to get back from a shoulder injury. Kept you out for 2 seasons. That takes so much dedication to get back to this level. And now pitching in front of a sold-out crowd in a top 10 matchup against the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, I think before those injuries too, she's been to the World Series. She knows what it feels like. She wants to get her team back and finally healthy enough and starting to build back the strength to get more and more innings and more starts.
KD Bennett, who also has a fantastic arc in her story, to Hodge.
Center fielder,
Back to the top of the Longhorn order for Ashton Maloney. Maloney struck out in the first, grounded to second base in the third. Her Texas team winning its 40th game of the season yesterday. That's now 6 consecutive seasons of 40 or more wins. Here's that Texas red-hot batting order. 5 players above 500.
Top 5 hitters here, too. It's just incredible. And right now, Clopton making easy work of it, quite frankly. This is 3rd time through the lineup. You see numbers like that, you expect these hitters to come up with a different approach, a different plan. Ashton Maloney 0 for 2 already. This is the time she needs to bear down. And someone who can, again, you just saw the numbers, very capable.
Missing in.
But I think that just goes to tell you how well Tatum Clopton's throwing today. And it has everything to do with that off speed, not afraid to throw it at any count, multiple times through an at bat, and then cut that riser hard and in just like that. And it makes it look that much faster after keeping those off speeds. But she's been able to throw that rise ball both sides of the plate. And oh yeah, she's got the curveball. So I just think she has such command today of that, and the pitch calling has just been incredible.
Here's the 3-2. Shallow center coming on. It's Lassiter. Lassiter was playing in. Only reason she was able to get to that one. Caden Henry with 2 out. First, Beth Torina will make a trip out to see Clopton. You rave about Clopton's performance today, and one good thing can lead to another for LSU, getting that confidence up, building towards the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, even yesterday, it was a turn of events there in the 6th and 7th for Texas to be able to pull that one out. But before that, I think LSU had command of the game. And just to start the game today, they came out hot. They came out and scored 2 in that first inning. And I feel like you're right on the edge, right? You're right. You can see it even against A&M. The way that their offense battled back with some of those games, I feel like they can taste it. They are so close, and the numbers they put up are incredible, but it's games like this they need to be able to hold on to. You have to be able to have Clopton finish this inning. Defense has got to have her back, and I think that was one thing, maybe a conversation there. So I'm not sure why else you would call a timeout right there. Because it's not like no one was rattled.
Right.
Unless there was something she needed to say about Caden Henry. It's just, again, making sure her team's nice and relaxed.
1-1 the count to Henry. Tigers coming off a sweep at the hands of Texas A&M. First time that had happened to LSU since March of 2023 when they were swept by Tennessee. Coach Torina telling us that they just could not seem to put it all together in any one of those 3 games. Finally starting to do that, it appears, in Game 2 against Tatum.
That's incredible. 20 runs.
Alabama and Florida had the Tide scoring the 7 runs in the first inning and holding on to beat the Gators 7-4. Also, another highlight yesterday was Tennessee walking it off against Auburn. Taylor Pannell with a 2-run homer to beat the Tigers. A couple of walk-offs yesterday in the SEC, as we also had one here in Austin, as the Longhorns had the first walk-off grand slam in program history. to beat LSU.
I'm loving the parity. I love that you get to get into this SEC play.
Hodge grounds out to Scott.
You know, I feel like, especially with the addition of Texas and OU to the SEC, OU for the last 4 years, so dominant. And now you get them in the mix, and you're watching them lose a couple games. They've lost more games than they have in the past couple years ever during conference play. So I think it's just going to make this postseason that much more interesting. Non-SEC play, I know I've been talking to you about it, that Arizona-Texas Tech series happening right now. Arizona took that one, where you have reigning National Player of the Year. Texas Tech's number 14 right now. Arizona's 13. Arizona takes that. Are you going to bump Texas Tech down? And as we're talking postseason and everyone beating themselves up, if Texas Tech doesn't host a regional, that means they're getting sent to a regional. That means Niger Kennedy is being sent to a regional, which is just going to make it crazy. I think that's why we call it mayhem.
I'll be locked into the whip around coverage. I hope our friend Chris Budden is back anchoring that this year. Always fun to see all of the action from around the country on regional weekend. Get these looks from my wife and kids when I'm sitting there watching. How many games are you watching right now? Oh, they're in a 6 box.
Yeah.
They've got 6 of them up right now. I can understand what's going on in all of them, sure. Even get the octo box sometimes. 8 at a time.
I can't do that. I can only focus maybe 2 at a time. It's like I like the red zone for softball.
That's what we get on ESPN Plus throughout that opening weekend of the tournament. 3-1 the count to Leno. 0 for 2 on the day. Missing away. Walked on 5 pitches. Sierra Daniel will have a chance at the bottom of the LSU order to pad this lead that currently stands at 4-1. Daniel robbed of a hit in the second as a sliding Henry came on to make the play in left and then singled in the 4th inning.
Yeah, after Berzon, Sierra Daniel's the only one at the bottom half of the lineup that's been able to put up another hit. It'd be big for her to be able to keep this inning going, get to top of the lineup for Coffee, so she could clear her hips.
Off the glove of Coffee and over into foul territory, allowing Mitchell to come to third. Stewart advances to second. Texas has struggled with runners in scoring position today. You see it there, just 1 of 5. Simmons the potential game-tying run. Longhorns trail by 3.
I think you're going to see Clopton live outside, throw that change just where Simmons is sitting, off the plate and open. Or not. They're going to go with the drop in. Good hold there.
3 balls and a strike. First base open for Simmons. She'll occupy it now. Mike White calling for time to discuss this at bat with Vic Hunter. Hunter, no stranger to coming up big in clutch moments. Bottom of the 6th, NCAA Super Regionals against Texas A&M. Clubbed a grand slam. Also had a pinch hit homer in UT's win over Baylor in the Big 12 Championship semifinals.
See, Coach Trina looking over to that. Yep, they're going to make a change here.
Clopton is done for the day.
I think this is a good move right here. Sydney Berzon coming in. She was so strong yesterday against Texas. Vic Hunter has not faced her.
Here's a look at Clopton's day. Of course, she is still responsible for the 3 runners on base through 5 2/3 innings. Again, not overpowering stuff, just 2 strikeouts, inducing a lot of ground balls. Gives up 4 hits in total and just 1 Texas run so far. Remember, again, she is responsible for the 3 runners on base. And Sydney Berzon back in the circle after starting yesterday. Her resume, impressive to say the least. A 2-time All-American.
Yeah, and yesterday, just the line that she was able to put up those first 5 innings against Texas, that's what she's going to hold on to, right? She only gave up 2 hits in those 5 innings, and I think that's where you're going to watch her. Texas, on the other hand, they're not keeping with Vic Hunter. You're going to have a pinch hitter. Kigora is going to come up here too. So someone who at least had an at-bat. I think that was the big thing. I thought that was a great move by Coach Beth Torina to make the change there, knowing Vic Hunter hadn't faced Berzon, and all of a sudden Texas, little chess match game going on here. They're going to go ahead and put in a new batter as well.
Vanessa Quiroga will step in from the left side.
I love that. Danica Coffey, when she goes, we go. She is definitely the leader of this team. Sydney calls her the leader of this team. And you saw it right there, the way she was able to hype her pitcher up.
First pitch from Berzon. Jolie Mitchell at third. Katie Stewart at second. Katie Simmons at first. Quiroga at the plate, the senior from Corpus Christi Carroll. Handled by Hodge, flipped to Daniel to get the 3rd out. Longhorns leave them loaded. LSU survives that 6th inning as we begin the 7th. Coffey leading things off. That one just foul.
You just can't say enough about the performance by Tatum Clopton. I think knowing it was just her 2nd start, you're going up against a number 3 Texas, a team that's been number 1 on and off all season, against the number 1 hitting team in the SEC. I mean, that's the performance. That's the Clopton LSU expected before the injuries. And so nice to have that back, and what a time to have that back in the middle of this grind coming off of A&M Texas. They go to Florida next week, so talk about going through the top SEC hitting teams. You just saw them. You get through once we get to postseason, and it is definitely getting through that A&M Texas and Florida hitting.
Well, thankfully for their sake, the Florida Gators will come to Baton Rouge
that's
next
helpful.
weekend.
That is helpful.
Then have to go back on the road one more time at Arkansas before heading to the SEC tournament in Athens, Georgia. 3-2 pitch coming to Coffey. Right. As Stewart backed up to make the play, couldn't get it to Bennett in time to retire the lead runner.
That's all about the speed of Danica Coffey. She's at the top of the lineup for a reason there, but you see where this ball takes Stewart, and I don't think there's no time wasted. That is absolutely the speed of Coffey, and this is where it gets tough. This is LSU. This is where all the damage has been done, is the 2, 3, 4 hitters right now, and 2 runners on. Got Tori Edwards up. I mean, this has to be what the conversation's about right now. Patty Ruth Taylor coming out to chat with her pitcher and probably talking, you know, like, we do have an open bag here. Tori Edwards has already gone yard once today. Hard to say that. I mean, I think you would maybe take your chance with Berzon. She got her out the last inning, though, too. So I think it's just more about, hey, we got to hit our corners here. If you walk her, you walk her.
And Edwards knows exactly what she's doing against Gutierrez. Beth Torina called her the most prepared hitter that the Tigers have. She has a plan for everybody and understands how to execute it. Total package for LSU. You touched on it many times, Megan. Such a great student of the game. Only 1 home run to go for Edwards to tie atop this leaderboard. Home runs by a first-year player in this storied LSU program.
Yeah, and just the way that she's swinging, and I think she's going to get to that and then some.
And she'll take a walk here. Bases full of Tigers with nobody out for the cleanup hitter, Macy Berzon. A career year for Berzon, looking to add to it. If you're thinking potential grand slam, Berzon has 9 homers this year. See that added together with Tori Edwards, 25 since March 30th, when she gave up 2 hit runs on 2 hits and didn't register an out against Mississippi State. But her ERA still strong at 2.10 on the year, 6 wins, no losses. First hitter she sees is Michaela Walker, pinch hitting for Mackenzie Rudidy. Walker hitting 190.
For Salmon, I think you just have to come out here. It's much easier said than done, but you got to control that strike zone. You got to go after, especially with that pinch hitter. Trust your stuff. And change the momentum.
As Walker at a 2-2 count with 1 out. Tori Edwards standing at third base. Tigers have already scored 2 in this half inning. Little tapper back to Salmon. On to Mitchell for out 2.
It's a great job. That's an off-speed pitch there. Control the ball. Made sure to check that Edwards wasn't going to go anywhere.
Avery Hodge now for LSU. 0 for 3. Flied out to left in the first and the third. then grounded to third base in the 6th inning. Ole Miss and Alabama. KD Bennett, 9-hole hitter, leads off the 7th for Texas. And back to Ashton Maloney and Caden Henry at the top of the order. Missing away, Sydney Berzon. Came on in relief of Tatum Clopton. For the final out of the 6th.
I think for Berzon yesterday, it was that drop ball. She was really able to work those first 5 innings, both sides of the plate, get a lot of ground balls out of the Texas bat. She's got that changeup as well and can run it up if she needs to. There's that drop.
Can't put a bat on that one, and Bennett now facing a 2-2 count. Two-two offering to Bennett, taps it and stays alive. Bennett was the only acquisition out of the transfer portal for Texas in the offseason. Coach White needed a utility player. She fit the bill. Coming over from Abilene Christian, where she was an all-WAC performer. Before that, an all-Southland Conference performer at Texas A&M Commerce. 3-2. That school now known as East Texas A&M. But when she first arrived there in Commerce, just planned to be a regular student. Didn't want to play softball collegiately. But she was really good at Caddo Mills High School, so word got around.
Right now, between Tatum Clopton and Sydney Berzon, the fact that they were able to silence this Texas offense that's been so tremendous in the SEC, #1 in the SEC, and those 2 pitchers came in. Tatum Clopton, again, just her 2nd start in the
Tôi bắt tôi Vic bảo thằng này đánh không fair play. Kêu với trọng tài thằng này đánh không phản. Nó cứ đánh kéo sân cho thằng Vic để chạy nhọc ấy. Bài nó gì đó. Như thế thì
nó trẻ hơn ông già nó phải tính cái bài của nó ấy.
Đúng rồi, nó không fair play lắm nhưng mà
nó đạt được
đối thủ khó chịu thôi chứ nó cũng không phạm luật gì. Đấy, còn khác không qua lưới rồi. Thằng kia nó mới có 19 thôi. Kia nó có 19 tuổi thôi.
trẻ hơn đâu, chỉ có ít kinh nghiệm thôi, khỏe hơn chứ.
Bằng nửa tuổi thằng này 38 rồi. 7 hay 38 rồi. Đi nào đi đâu. Cũng nằm tốt. Quay. Ôi chúng bật. Ngồi bật cúp. Cúp này ra. Nhà gái hết. Wow. Chinh 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 chinh.
Nó quay ấy.
Ừ. Bắt nó là chít này,